Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and welcome back to Temple Beth Shalom for our full activities of Shabbat. I see our clergy up on the bima, and we welcome all of you who are here on our Zoom and our Temple site, and also those of you that are in the sanctuary. We welcome you all, and we are now in the month of Elul, which signifies that high holidays are just around the corner, and we look forward to you following up on all of our communiques and letting you know of what's happening and all the details. We always encourage you to go to our website and see what's happening there. I know meditation has begun with Marta Singerman. We have our Israel updates. We have Elul programming. I know Rabbi Glickstein led a great program this past Wednesday. So as always, we encourage you to go to the website and see what is happening. Slichot is just 2 weeks away from tomorrow evening, and that means Rosh Hashanah is a week after. So as always, we welcome you here. I know Cantor Siegel is ready to go. I know Rabbi Davis is ready to go. I know Ira and Darcy are there in the sanctuary. I think Rabbi Pomerantz is there. So on behalf of everyone here at Temple Beth Shalom, I want to welcome you. And on behalf, as I said, Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Welcome, everyone.
Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn and reborn. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn, and return to who you are, return to what you are, return to where you are, born and reborn and reborn again. Return again, return to the land of your soul. Return again, return again, return to the land of your soul.
Shabbat Shalom and welcome to Temple Beth Shalom, whether you are here in our sanctuary or you are in your ever-present sanctuary in your home. This is Shabbat. All week long we focus on work and productivity, attempting to create the world we imagine. And on Shabbat we step back from the canvas of our making and seek insight, renewal, perspective, and inspiration, so that in a few hours we can return and renew our pursuit of holiness and wholeness. May your prayers tonight and this day of Shabbat help you to turn and return to the best of yourselves. On this Shabbat, it's my pleasure to invite Darcy Siegel and Ira Leilchuk to lead us in the kindling of Shabbat candles and in Kiddush. Page 2.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahalik ner shel Shabbat. O source of light and truth, creator of the eternal law of goodness, help us to find knowledge by which to live. Lead us to take the words we shall speak into our hearts and our lives. Bless all who enter this sanctuary in need, all who bring the offerings of their hearts. May our worship lead us to acts of kindness, peace, and love.
And we continue with the Kiddush found on page 4.
Vahi erev vayivoker yom hashi'i. Vayichulo hashamayim va'aretz v'chol tzava'am. V'chol Elohim bayom hashvi'i malachto asher asa. Vayishpot bayom hashvi'i v'kol malachto asher asa. Vayiverech Elohim et yom hashvi'i v'kadosh oto kivo shavat makol malachto asher bara Elohim lasot. The heaven and the earth were finished, and all their array. On the seventh day God finished the work that God had been doing, and God ceased on the seventh day from all the work that God had done. And God blessed the seventh day and declared it holy, because on it God ceased from all the work of creation that God had done.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kodsho v'ahava uvratzon hinchilanu zikaron lemaaseh v'reshit ki hu yom techila lemikra kodesh zecher letziat mitzrayim ki vanu v'acharta v'yotanu kidashta mikol hamim v'shabbat kodshecha v'ahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh haShabbat.
Amen. L'chaim. And as they're making a l'chaim, I'm going to ask all of us to turn to page 12 in our prayer book. Thank you, Darcy and Ira. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn to page 12. Come, let us sing joyously to Adonai. Raise a shout for our rock and deliverer, L'chu Naranana.
L'chu Naranana l'Adonai Nariah Letzor Yishenu L'chu Naranana l'Adonai Nariah Letzor Yishenu Nekadma fanav v'toda b'zmirot Nariah lo L'chu Naranana l'Adonai Nariah Letzor Yishenu Nekadma fanav v'toda b'zmirot Nariah lo Nekadma v'toach potarim lo. Asher biyado mekerei haaretz v'toach potarim lo. Yalai, yalai, lai, 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 ai, lai, 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 lai,
We continue with this beautiful song that was composed 500 years ago. Beautiful song, Welcoming Shabbat, Lecha Dodi, verses 1, 2, 5, and 9, page 20.
Yalla la la la, lecha dodi. Yalla la la la, lekrat kala. Yalla la la, penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabe. Yalla la la la, lecha dodi. Yalla la la la, lekrat kala. Yalla la la la, penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, hishmi'anu el hamyuchad. Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shem u'tiferet v'litchila. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 la, lecha dodi. Ya la 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 la, lekrat kala. Ya la 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 la, penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki mekor habracha, merosh mikedem nesucha. So ma'aseh b'machshava techila. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 la, lecha dodi. Ya la 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 la, lekrat kala. Ya la 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 la, penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, hitoreri, kiva oreh, kumi ori, 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 shir daberi, kevod Adonai, alayich nigla. Yai lai lai, ya la 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 la, lecha dodi. Ya la 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 la, lekrat kala. Ya la 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 la, penei Shabbat, penei Shabbat nekabela. Boi v'shalom, ateret bala. Gam b'simcha, Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 lekwad kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabe. Ya la 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 lecha dodi. Ya la 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 lekwad kala. Ya la 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 penei Shabbat. Penei Shabbat nekabela.
Remain standing and continue with the Baruch Hu, page 28.
Ya la 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 la. Ya la ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la ya la 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 la. Baruch Hu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach leolam vaed. Ya la 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 la. Ya la ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. La 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 la.
Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day and to night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai our God, from whom the evening flows.
Baruch atah Adonai Hamarif Aharavim.
We continue pages 34 and 35. In a moment, we will pray the ancient words of the Shema. The Shema calls us to look carefully at our world and to see not that which divides us, but rather that which unites us, to see that we are created B'Tselem Elohim, in the image of God, and that we are part of the unity of all creation. We meditate on the words of Shema and on that oneness. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. Please be seated. We continue with Ve'ahavta, page 36.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'davarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha, v'dibarta bam, beshivtecha beveitecha, uvlechtecha vaderech, uvshokbecha uvekumecha, ukeshartam leot aliyadecha, v'hayu letotafot bein einecha, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles, an earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come, the song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more, the song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Page 40, Michamocha.
Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yalla-la-la, yalla-la-la-la, 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 yalla-la-la-la. Mi kamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nehedar b'kodesh, nora tehilot osef peleh, nora tehilot osef peleh. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yalla-la-la, yalla-la-la-la, 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 yalla-la-la-la,
Michamocha. Beautiful. Thank you, Cantor. At summer camp in the summer of 1969, I was feeling a little negative one evening about something I had said to one of my fellow campers, in spite of the fact that he probably deserved it. But I was feeling bad about it, so I went to the camp director, Mort Hoffman, for some sort of absolution, some sort of release from that which was weighing so heavy on me. He told me that I should save my self-judgment for the morning. He said most everything looks better in the daylight. Then he took out of his pocket a little prayer book, just exactly like this one, the same prayer book that one of my childhood rabbis, Rabbi Earl Stone, gave to me before I left for Israel. And he told me to open it up, and he asked me to read out loud this translation that the cantor is going to be singing in Hebrew in just a moment for the prayer Hashkivenu. And this is the 1955 translation. Cause us, O Lord our God, to lie down in peace, and raise us up again, O our King, unto life. Spread over us thy tabernacle of peace. Direct us aright through thine own good counsel. Save us for thy name's sake. Be thou a shield about us. Remove from us every enemy, pestilence, sword, famine, and sorrow. Help us, O Lord, to resist temptation. Shelter us with thy protecting love, for thou art our guardian and deliverer. Hashkivenu.
Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim, l'chaim. Hashkivenu Adonai, Eloheinu leshalom, V'hamidenu shomrenu l'chaim, l'chaim. Ufros aleinu sukat shlomecha, v'taknenu b'etza milfanecha, v'hoshienu leman shemecha. Amen.
We prepare now for the central part of our prayer service. It's found beginning on page 46. This set of prayers goes by many names, the Amidah, the Shemona Esrei, and the name that's given in our prayer book is HaTefilah. The word HaTefilah, which gets translated here as prayer, means at its core, prayer, tefillah, means self-judgment, to look carefully at ourselves, to look deeply at our lives. And the word actually comes from the same word as to be in awe of our lives, to really embrace our existence and do all that we can to make our lives awesome. We continue with HaTefilah beginning on page 46.
Adonai, sefatai tiftach, ufi yagi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, v'Elohei avoteinu v'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, v'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Himahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'Neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechayeh hakol atah lahoshia, Morid hatal, Mechalkel chayim bechesed, Mechayeh hakol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim ve'rofeh cholim, Umatir asurim, umekayem emunato, lishenei afar, bichamocha bal givurot, umidom elach, melech memit u'mechaye u'matzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lahachayot ha'kol Baruch atah Adonai b'chayei hakol Atah kadosh b'shimcha kadosh u'kadoshim b'chol yom yahalalucha selah Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
We continue with the prayers found between pages 54 and 62, or the prayers of our own hearts. I invite you to sit, stand as you prefer. We pray silently.
During this month of Elul, the month that precedes the High Holy Days, it is this time for reflection, introspection, this time of return, this time of returning to try to cling and have some relationship with the divine. It's customary that we read Psalm 27 daily, this beautiful psalm, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai ota avakesh, one thing I ask of you, God, that I request, Shivti beveit Adonai kol yemei chayai, to dwell in your house all the days of my life, lachazot b'noam Adonai, to behold beauty, ulvakesh, and to gaze in delight, bechelo, in your temple, O God, in your holy temple. Achat sha'alti. Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai, Achat sha'alti ota avakesh, Achat sha'alti me'et Adonai, Achat sha'alti ota avakesh, Shivti bevet Adonai, Shivti kol yemei chayai, lachazot b'noam Adonai, uvaker beheichalo, lachazot b'noam Adonai, to gaze upon the beauty of Adonai. One thing I ask you, Adonai,
Thank you, Cantor Siegel. It was beautiful. So many of us have had more than our fair share of Zoom encounters this year, where our own image distracts us on the screen. Is that really the way my neck looks? The lighting makes me look awful. Oh my gosh, my cheeks are so fat, my eyes are droopy. And in fact, I learned that plastic surgery procedures have increased significantly since the onset of COVID in what's been called a Zoom boom. A boom in procedures such as facelifts and chin liposuction as a result of all the time that we've spent looking at ourselves. Rather than just walking by and glancing at a mirror, we have spent hours and hours with our own reflection on the screen staring back at us. The Israeli author Etgar Keret recently published a story in Tablet magazine called The Upgraded Me. And it featured this picture of the author here on our screens with a mask wearing the smile of a dynamic person unfettered by the coronavirus or any of the other many things that tend to wipe the smile off our faces. This picture, said Keret, was a depiction of himself as he wished to be seen. You know those kind of pictures, asked Keret? The ones where you look a little smarter, a little more handsome, and a drop more successful than you really are? I'm just crazy about them, he said. Sometimes I can spend a whole hour staring at a picture that shows an upgraded version of myself. The same Etgar, but without buck teeth and anxious eyes, and with a little more sex appeal and a stronger, more manly chin. I know the picture doesn't look like me at all, and that's exactly why I love it, because it has sabotaged its original function as a representative of reality and taken on a different function. That picture is no longer a glance in a mirror that shows me who I am, but I'm looking at a different dimension that shows me who I could be. Someone a little braver, a little more charismatic when the light hits him at just the right angle. This season of Elul beckons us to look in the mirror, not to notice our physical imperfections and flaws, which we often spend way too much time focusing on, but rather our spiritual ones. Now is the time for us to prepare our souls and ourselves for the hard work of introspection, of looking in the mirror and seeing an image of who we really are. At the same time, this week, our Torah portion, Shoftim, speaks of judges and judgment, all of which leads up to what's called Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, which is, of course, Rosh Hashanah. The time is at hand for our annual reckoning, time for a reality check, to see how much distance there is between who we are and who we wish to be. The Italian author Primo Levi shares another angle on the mirror image in his story called The Mirror Maker, in which the mirror not only reflects how we see ourselves, but how others see us too. In this story, a man named Timoteu is a mirror maker, as his father and his father before him were. And during working hours, Timoteu made regular, ordinary mirrors, those that reflect the true image of how we look in the world. But at night, he made all different types of mirrors that distorted what was reflected back. The most extraordinary of these mirrors was called a metamirror. And the meta mirror reproduced your image, not as it was objectively seen, but as it was seen by the person who stood in front of you. To test the mirror, Timoteo stood next to a wall, and when he looked at himself, he saw an already balding 30-year-old with a witty and dreamy air that was himself. Next, he brought the mirror to a woman he was pursuing. This time, when he looked in the mirror in her presence, he saw a bald man with his lips hanging half open in a foolish smirk that revealed his rotten teeth. Yikes. Timoteo continued testing his metamirror, and each time a completely different image of himself was reflected back at him, based on whoever was standing in front of him and how they perceived him. The story ends, sadly, with no one wanting to buy his special mirror, for seeing ourselves the way other people see us is just too difficult. The High Holy Days come each year to ask us to hold a mirror to our lives. Whether we are like Edgar Carrot, wanting to see who we wish to be, or Timoteo, who wanted to see how others see us, the mirror is an important tool for this period of self-reflection. When we look in the mirror, who do we see? To prepare ourselves for Yom Hadin, the Day of Judgment, we might use the mirror as a tool to see ourselves in 3 different ways. The first is as we are, with all our blemishes and foibles, all of our regrets and character flaws. For it's only when we're able to see ourselves as we truly are that we might imagine who we could be if we tried harder, made amends, and did some slight plastic surgery to our souls. The second way we should try to see ourselves is from the perspective of others. What might we learn about ourselves if we empathize with those around us and imagine ourselves from their perspective? Are we obstinate, selfish, self-absorbed, or condescending? As Timoteo learned, it is really challenging to view ourselves through this critical lens, but necessary if we are to repair ourselves and our relationships. And the final way we might allow the mirror to instruct us is by seeing ourselves as we truly wish to be seen. For in doing so, we create an inspiring vision of our best selves for which to strive. In his poem, Love After Love, the poet Derek Walcott imagines this moment. The time will come, he writes, when with elation you will greet yourself arriving at your own door, in your own mirror, and each will smile at the other's welcome. May we each do the work that is necessary for this time to come soon. And the image we greet in the mirror is the upgraded version, the image we wish to see. Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. Amen. We will continue our service this evening with the theme of repair, not only repairing ourselves, but physically and spiritually repairing others. And so this is our moment for Misha Berach, a prayer of healing and hope. And if anybody in our congregation has a loved one for whom they wish to pray, I invite you to share the name out loud at this time. Yes, please, Anais. Jeff? Anybody else? Yonatan Ben Leah. And I invite anybody at home who is praying for yourself or someone special to say that name out loud as well, as we join our voices together in song with a prayer for Misha Berach, and we also pray for protection and safety for those United States personnel in Afghanistan.
Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misha Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
We continue our service on page 282 with the Aleinu, and I invite you to rise as we face Jerusalem.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, l'tet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kegoyeh haratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo samech elkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu. V'nemar v'haya Adonai l'melech al kol haaretz bayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. So I spoke a few moments ago about the name Yom Hadin for Rosh Hashanah. But Rosh Hashanah is also known by another name, and that is Yom HaZikaron, the day of remembering. So much of what we do as Jews is remember. We remember our creation, our redemption, revelation. We remember our ancestors, and we remember those who we loved, who helped to shape us into the people who we are. And so from time to time at Temple Beth Shalom, we have the special privilege of dedicating plaques that help us to remember and that honor memories, which hang in our alcove of remembrance. And tonight we have the privilege of dedicating 4 plaques. Tonight we are dedicating the plaques of Harold Hal Siegel, beloved husband and father and grandfather and father-in-law, someone who was resilient and generous and well-loved. We're dedicating the plaques of Florence Lelchuk and Sheldon Lelchuk, who were married for 25 years, who shared love and children and grandchildren. and compassion and generosity. And we remember Roz Covan's beloved aunt. She was a vibrant and vivacious, strong woman, and we honor all of their memories as we dedicate these plaques. And in order to do that, we're going to look at a poem that was written by the poet Chana Senish. It's on page 291 in your prayer books. And she speaks about those loved ones being like stars in the sky whose light stays with us and guides us long, long after they are gone. And so Cantor Siegel will sing this song.
There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light. Long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, we remember as we live our days. These are the ways we remember, we remember, we remember, we remember.
And so we remember now the moments shared, the times of companionship, of love, of laughter, of loss, the holidays, all those precious moments that touched you deeply, you who are here, who love them so well. And as we do so, we dedicate not only these plaques, but our lives, that we should live in accordance with their highest ideals and the way they would most want us to live. And we honor them by the way we live our lives. And so we dedicate these plaques to Harold Hal Siegel, Florence Lelchuk, Sheldon Lelchuk, and Roz M. Covens. And as we do, I'm going to invite you to share this poem. It's not in your prayer book, but there is a refrain in which you can participate, which are the words, "We remember them." And so I'll read them out loud, and please join in. In the rising of the sun and in its going down, we remember them. In the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, we remember them. In the opening of buds and in the rebirth of spring, we remember them. In the blueness of the sky and in the warmth of summer, we remember them. In the rustling of leaves and in the beauty of autumn, we remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, we remember them. When we are lost and sick at heart, we remember them. When we have joys like this new baby that we yearn to share, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us as we remember them. We think of those loved ones and all those others whose yard sites are observed on this Shabbat and whose plaques are in our alcove of remembrance, which these plaques will soon join. We think of Lester Arkin, Bess Barg, Robert Bass, Charles Goldstein, Jill Greenwald, Nellie Groper, Florence Stein-Hecht, Molly Kennan, Max Kronish, Dora Kugel, Herman Lundy, Bess Martyr, Norman I. Miller, Abraham Jacob Molaski, Charles Nannis, Edward Rice, Janet Richard, A. Douglas Rosenbaum, Quentin Sandler, Harry Ziegler, and phase in. And we remember those other yard sites that are observed on this Shabbat. We think of Lillian Brick, Marlene Chaitman, Max Citron, Billy Lawrence Donner, Sarah Eidelman, Lydia Goldman, Harry Goldstein, Henrietta Gordon, Judith Greenfield, Jamie Gutman, Tony Hart, Mildred Jenkowitz, Jean Karp, Clara Lewis, Edith Libin, Yocheved Lipsky, Morris Malmud, Norman Marcus, Beatrice Melitz, Paula Myers, Leon Persky, Mauricio Rizikow, Annie Rosendorn, Benjamin Rosenstein, Stephen Ross, Lillian Ross, William Rubin, Nathan Rubenstein, Abraham Sheffman, Morris Sidman, Minnie Siegel, Herbert Steele, Janet Swedrow, Saul Wax, and Isidore Irving Weinberg. And we think as well of those members of our congregation and their loved ones who have died in the last 30 days and whose mourners remain in the shloshim of mourning. We think of James Jim Kosnowski, Barbara Gordon Jonas, Ira Elegant, Peter Cohn, Stacy Lynn Pepper, Henry Hantkin, and Michael Endy. Zichronam livracha. May their memories be a blessing to all of you who knew them and all of you who love them. I'll invite you to please rise as we turn to page 294 for words of Kaddish. And as we do, if there are any other names of loved ones that you are remembering on this Shabbat that you want to share, any members of our congregation or at home, please do. We think as well of the 6 million men, women, and children who perished in the Shoah, of the over 24,000 Israeli soldiers who died so that we would have a Jewish homeland, and our American soldiers who died defending our liberties. And we take them all into our hearts with our own as we praise God with these words. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlik malchutei, b'chayachon v'yamachon uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, Bagala v'zman kari v'yimru amen. Yehei shemei rabbah mivarach le'alam u'amei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Damiran be'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru amen. May the author of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved here and everywhere with God's blessing of peace. And let us say, amen. You may be seated.
Shabbat Shalom again. Thank you, Rabbi. Thank you, Cantor. Beautiful. I want to share a few announcements on behalf of the congregation. Tomorrow morning we have Torah study at 9:30 and Shabbat morning minyan at 10:30, and those are only online. You can go to the website, tbsmb.org, and you can find the links for the Facebook or the Watch or Zoom. Once again, there's no in-person Torah study or in-person Shabbat morning services tomorrow morning. And it's very important with what's going on with the virus that for all the temple activities, please check our website for the latest information on how you can access the programs and services, including upcoming information regarding the High Holy Days. Very important. The websites can have all that information, as well, of course, as your email inbox. We've been holding a series of programs around the month of Elul, this month before the High Holidays. This coming Wednesday at 5 o'clock, Rabbi Leuben will be leading a session for our congregation on getting prepared. We're studying a book by Alan Liu, and invite you for the very interesting sessions that we're having on Wednesdays at 5 o'clock. At 1 o'clock on Wednesday as well, for those of you that are dealing with technology and accessing the programs at the temple, Craig Burko is available to help you to figure out how to access our programs in the best way. Throughout this summer, we continue with meditation on Tuesdays at 7 o'clock at night and Fridays at 12 noon, and all of the registration is online as well. And urge you to check the website for information about the meetups with Mark Baranek on Mondays, as well as the weekly Israel updates with him and conversations with Mark Baranek on Thursdays at 5 o'clock. And finally, there's never a finally at the Temple Beth Shalom. There's always a couple more things. Thursday, August 26th, the Brotherhood Kickoff event at a restaurant over in the Design District. And on Saturday, August 28th, at 8 p.m., Slichot. And once again, please check the website to get information about exactly the context in which all of these programs will be held and conducted. So wish you Shabbat Shalom, and we're going to return again with a little bit more music as we conclude our Shabbat prayers. And Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Cantor?
Return again. Our theme for Elul. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to the land of your soul. Again. Return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return to who you are. Return to who you are. Return to what you are. Return to where you are. Born and reborn and return again. Return again. Return to the land of your soul. Return again. Return again, return to the land of your soul.
Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos.
Shabbat Shalom.